So today I wanted to talk about the simplicity of what's being shared. The concepts, which really concepts mean descriptions or ideas, opinion. So someone's idea, someone's theory, someone's opinion, when it's put forward as a concept. Even something as simple as the apple is red, that's a concept. The sun is hot, that's a concept. So just a description of something or a theory. I think that if you walk around the building, you'll get to the other side quicker than if you go that way. It's a concept. It may be right, it may be wrong. It's an idea. Description is a word that I think is how it's helpful to look at concepts that are put forward in the teaching. So the teaching often says that whatever is said or whatever is written down, whatever has been said or written down by anyone in all of history and will ever be said or written down going forward in time is always a concept. So if Rumi says something profound, the words are a concept. If someone says, what you are is formless, it's a concept. What you are is formless. Someone else might say, what you are is the body. That's another concept. They might not match up, but that's because they're two concepts. So it's okay that they don't match up. So think about anything anyone said. Your favorite teacher, your parents, politicians. Politicians might say, economic prudency is the way forward. It's a concept. And one of the biggest freedoms, or one of the biggest changes, shifts that leads to freedom is when we realize that what a concept is. Anything you think is a concept. Anything the other thinks is a concept. So whatever is spoken, whatever is written down, whatever is thought is a concept. I'm great. I'm not so great. Concept. And a concept describes something actual, let's say it describes something actual, and the description is either accurate or inaccurate. And sometimes we might, for example, say, there are aliens on Mars. It's describing the actual, which is on Mars, and it could be wrong. So it's still a concept describing the actual. And if there aren't any aliens on Mars, then the concept that says there are aliens on Mars is a concept of Mars, a concept about aliens, and it's either right or wrong, or it's partially right, partially wrong, right from this angle, not from that angle. Why is this important? Because we need to understand what concepts are. Concepts on their own are harmless. They're just an idea that someone has, and they can't hurt anyone in and of themselves. Even a concept that says, you are terrible. I'm, sad to know you. That's a concept. It's an idea. It's an opinion. It's a description. And on its own, a concept is very limited. It doesn't have so this is sticks sticks and stones might break my bones, but names will never hurt me, is a saying that is basically understanding this principle I'm putting forward. So sticks and stones, yes, they will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Names is, if you have a name about me, even if it's hurtful on one level, it's dependent on how I receive it, how I interpret it. And so that means, do I understand it's a concept? Because if I treat it as truth, if I treat it as something more than a concept, then what will happen is I will hear the concept and then relate to it out of line or in a different way than if I understood what a concept was. So I can't emphasize more how a healthy relationship to concepts changes our sense of self. And the reason is that our sense of self, the sense of self that has been set in place, that suffers, that identity, is essentially a set of concepts, a set of ideas that we have taken absolutely. And that's a very bad way to relate to concept, because concepts are not absolute things. They're very relative.